All right, this is going to be a review of the Hati S Plus 4K. This is a mouse I've been using every day since I have gotten my cast off. And yeah, so this is a very interesting mouse. This is a 4000 hertz mouse, obviously, and yeah, there's a lot to talk about here. These were sent out. I also did get the Ace, but I believe that the Ace also deserves its own review. Because this is going to be a review. This is going to be a long enough review on its own, and there are definitely a few different things in there that warrant a completely just different review. So first, we're going to get off with the price. This is not a sponsored video, but I do have a code. I signed up for it myself just so people buying it could get money off. There's a code. It's your cloudy. You can get $10 off. This mouse is $160. It brings it down to $150. So, yeah, that's just straight up $10 off, no matter what. And let's get into these specs now. So, the specs of this mouse, we have 3399 sensor. We have a Nordic MCU. We have Zippy 60M switches, TTC gold encoder, and Huano micro dot switches. And this also does come in pink colorway and teal and blue. I have the white here, obviously. So, yeah, in the box, you get, off the top of my head, actually, I can't even remember off the top of my head. So, you get this blue cable. So, you actually get two cables in the box. You get this blue cable and you get this gray cable. The gray cable is much shorter and has a much, it's shielded. It's more shielded, I guess you could say. So it is preferred to use the 4K if you have the mouse on 4K with the gray one. But yeah, you can also use the blue one for lower speeds. And under that, everything should come in this little envelope. I guess I did actually put everything back in the envelope. Okay, so first we're going to start off with the grips, and this is a sheet with all the box content specs and all that. We will get into that. You get these grips. They're not the best grips in the world. They work. But what I am thankful for is that they actually give you these back two right here. Most companies don't do that. They give you these two and these two, the sides and the clicks. G-Wolves does give you the back two. You get this little picky thingy. So what this picky thingy does is there's no onboard on and off button. But so what you do is you take this pick thing, and that's the on and off button right there. It's actually the hole is big enough to fit a finger in there, so you don't even need to do that. A lot of people were complaining about that, but the hole is literally big enough to fit a finger in there, so you don't even need to do that. And the mouse has it. You don't. It's not a big deal. Trust me. People are making way too big of a deal out of it. That's something that's not a big deal. And of course, you get a smelly packet. And in here, you get 3 different types of feet. And I got glass feet, but you will have to pre-order those. They are coated. It's kind of hard to use glass feet in New York, but if you were into glass feet, these do have a design on them. Here, I'll take the big foot out. It's a girl with a gun. They look pretty sick, but glass feet just don't work in the humidity conditions that I live in. But you get 3 different sets of feet. You get your dot feet, you get your big feet that I have on here, and then you get like these semi feet that you can see right here. Ideally, I would use these, but right now I am just using these and they feel great, so I might just keep them on. Now let me clean all this up. Oh, actually, not yet. So you also get these. You get these things. These are chargers. This is to charge the mouse with your phone. I believe someone wanted these added, so they're added. But yeah, you can charge the mouse with your phone. This is a micro USB cable. I would assume, I don't even really know how this would work, but it's got to work some way. But yeah. All right, now that we are done with the unboxing and everything, I want to talk about a few different features that this mouse has. So as I already went over 4K Hertz 3399 and all these specs, like the switches and everything, this has something called eager debounce. So eager debounce is a better way to do debounce. It's basically, if I recall correctly, is debounce after the click. And actually, while we're doing this, I will show off the software because I have to give G-Wolves credit. They improved their software a lot. The old G-Wolves software was really, really bad, but this is considerably better. You have your polling rate toggle here, debounce time here. Basically, you can set this to 20 milliseconds, 18 milliseconds. It will not feel like the standard 18 milliseconds you would feel on some other gaming mouse. It's just a better way to do debounce, and yeah. So you have your lift off on low and high. I keep mine on low, turn the angle snapping off, and we will get into the battery life. And obviously you have all of this. All right, so getting into other aspects. So the battery life on this mouse is 80 hours with 1000 hertz and 22 hours on 4000 hertz, which 4000 hertz is much more it's much less power efficient, obviously, so it is going to be low. That's just the fact of the nature. Any 4000 hertz mouse you get right now, it's just going to have low battery, but it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. I charge it. It would be different if it's 1000 hertz, but you're paying for 4000 hertz. It's not a big deal. And the shape of this mouse. So the shape of this mouse is very interesting. I have these specs. Oh, here we go. So companies don't do this often, and I wish they did it more, because here, this is the full shape of this mouse. So 24 millimeters of from the clicks, 40 millimeters from the hump, and as you can see here, 56.4 millimeters of grip width, 61 at its widest, and 117 millimeters long, 47 plus 2 grams, 49 grams, and yeah, that is, I think it is the best shape G-Wolves has made. I was not a huge Hati fan. I did enjoy the shape a lot, and I like the HSK shape quite a bit, but the shape for me personally, it just feels so natural in the hand. It really does. It's a great claw shape. To me, it feels just perfectly natural. I can't even really explain it. I'm not going to compare it to anything really. You could compare it to like a G Pro wireless, but I just think the curvature on it is just much better. But I'm a average G. I hate the shape of G Pro wireless, I'll be honest. So yeah, I love it. Fingertip, it's pretty good. I'm not going to tell you if the shape is hard to go over because I can't tell you what's going to be good for you. So yeah, you're going to have to, take what you want and think if it's good for you, because I cannot tell you if it's good for you really. But for me, it is a great claw shape, great fingertip shape, and let's get into the buttons. The buttons, I'll give you a sound test first. I'll give you a sound test first. So right and left click. Side buttons. Scroll wheel. All right. The buttons are just, they're top 3 stock side buttons. Side buttons and main buttons I've used on a stock mouse. I'm sorry. There is a little bit. I'm sorry about my fingers. There is a little bit. This one's not much better. There's a little bit of pre-travel there, but it's good pre-travel, and there's a little bit of post-travel that's good post-travel. You want a little bit just to make the clicks not feel hard and like clanky type of feeling. And they feel great. They feel really great. There's no side-to-side wobble. The zippies feel amazing. The tactility is It's just great. You just need to try them. Like whether it's in this mouse or another mouse, this is a completely different tangent. You just need to try Zippy. They're great. They're probably my favorite Switch. And the side buttons, I do have them in my modded G203. The side buttons, there is a little bit of wobble on them, but you don't notice it in game. You can't actually wobble them, and the placement is great. They're not too far forward. They fit perfect. The tensioning is great. It's extremely instant. They feel great, and the scroll wheel, it's good. Is it my favorite scroll wheel of all time? No, but one thing I love about it is these bumps right here. I don't know if you can really see it actually, but there's these little bumps on the scroll wheel, and they feel great. But overall, it is a good scroll wheel. It is a solid B+ scroll wheel. I have a weird taste for scroll wheel too, very weird taste. I am actually a fan of the Ultralight 2 scroll wheel, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, another thing I would like to add is the structure on this mouse is great. I'll just show you. That was me pressing the side button. There is no, even on the bottom here, over the sensor, being rough, nothing. And I guess the PCB here, you might be able to see it in there. The PCB actually helps stabilize the walls, and it feels solid as a tank. And it has not deteriorated at all. No, not even a little bit of rattle in here. And also, I do want to add that the feet were updated, and they feel great. There is absolutely no reason to switch off of these feet at all. Seriously great feet. I was extremely surprised by all of this, I guess I can say, because in the past G-Wolves has been so hit and miss. But I mean, it's very surprising. So yeah, I mean, I want to add this. I'm looking at this little sheet here, and the Hati S Plus 4K has a click latency of 0.81 milliseconds. The V2 Pro has 0.58 milliseconds. The Superlight has 1.91 milliseconds. The Starlight 12 is 2.55 milliseconds. And the X-Lite V2 is 3.9 milliseconds. So even without opticals, this is competing right up there with the V2 Pro. And obviously it is 4K, but that is very, very good. And that makes these are very close contenders, honestly. It just depends on what you want. Really, what shape do you prefer? Is one on sale? Stuff like that. But back to this review. I mean, there were a few issues in the beginning. There was the side button issue on, I believe it was Bordsy's copy, that his side button was in. I know that has been completely fixed. Okay. Nice. That has been completely fixed, and there was a issue where the ports weren't working, like your 4K wasn't working. I never encountered that issue ever, and everybody that I've talked to that has had the mouse never encountered it either. So yeah, I can't tell you much about that. I didn't have it. I think it's just a personal computer problem, if I had to guess, for something like that, because I didn't have it, and nobody that I know has had it. So yeah. And there is a forward sensor positioning, and I love that. I wish more companies would do that. Feels great. I don't know how many times I can say that, but honestly, I seriously recommend this mouse. I don't know if there's anything else I really need to add, but Yeah, it is a really like a top tier mouse. This is probably my favorite mouse out right now. Just point blank period. This is probably my favorite mouse out right now. So that's gonna be the end of this review. This will stay my main. And yeah, peace. And don't forget to use the code You're Cloudy for $10 off. Not sponsored, obviously. I just literally just want you to save money.